Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of Final Stallions!
Of course we did. I mean, we did that album review about a year ago as well.
True.
Of course we're going to get that darkness. Stallions love darkness.
And that album review we are referring to is episode number 6. Over a year ago. We did this one in February 2022. And of course, we are talking about the one, the only, the boss, Bruce Springsteen.
The man who is 70-something years old, ripping his shirt off at concert, playing for 26 to 28 songs a night, and absolutely bringing the heat with the incredible E Street Band that has just continued throughout over the years. People who don't know myself, Spruce, this is probably my favorite artist ever. What a fucking concert we're about to dive into that took place in Detroit, Michigan on March 29th.
Yeah, just absolutely rowdy show. What was it? It was a Wednesday, right?
At Little Ceasars Arena.
Yep. Yeah, so for those who don't know, that's where the Detroit Pistons play basketball, the Detroit Red Wings play hockey. It's a pretty big arena built in 2017. I'm going to go look it up, see how many it holds. But, I mean, it's over 20,000, and I'm pretty sure this concert was sold out.
I mean, for those who don't know, this was Bruce's first time touring in like 8 years, besides his solo stuff that he did on Broadway. I was introduced to them from my dad, who's seen him over 40 times. This was probably my like 7th time, I think, seeing him. And my dad and I were supposed to see him in Columbus about 2 weeks before this. And about an hour before we were leaving, the day of the show, it got canceled because someone, I assume Bruce, was sick. So it got postponed to September, which now I'm kind of happy about. I get a nice 6 months in between. I start my summer with Bruce and my summer with Bruce. So I got a little blue balled there, and I was so just even more hyped for this concert because of that.
Yeah. I mean, I envy you. Yeah, that's honestly may have been a blessing in disguise, just simply because of the timing. Not that like getting a couple Bruce concerts in a 2-week span wouldn't be cool, but it is kind of nice that, like, you know, you got this one and now you got, like, you know, quite a few more months to let the anticipation build up for the Columbus one.
And I was told by our very own Rich Barbaric, King of Dave Matthews Tailgating and All Things Dave, that, and honestly King of Bruce as well, but he said it is the last stops before they take like a month break. It's 2 days before Bruce's birthday as well, which is September 23rd, and it's a Thursday, so I think they're going to come out swinging, and I'm looking forward to it. But right now, I want to reminisce on what we experienced in Detroit, which was Klep's first Bruce show. And we also had our buddy Matt Bogard tag along, Nature Matty, who has done a bunch of photos for us. Go check him out at Nature Matty, or at Brogard is another one of his accounts. And last minute, he jumped along because my mom couldn't go. The boys, we headed up to Detroit, met Klep from Toledo, literally walked in. It was the Klep had some great parking. Shoot us some DMs if you want to know great parking around Little Caesars. Klep will tell you where to find it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we waited in line, got our merch, got our beers, got our hot dogs, and precisely at 7:45, Bruce walked out to his first song.
Yeah. Oh,
which was No Surrender, off Born in the USA.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, excellent song choice. Get the crowd engaged right away. You know, a song that everyone knows, just lock it in. And what was interesting, so there's a good portion of the band that was out there for this song, but not everyone. And that was like kind of a cool thing that kind of happened throughout the concert, is like more people just like kept coming on stage as they got deeper into the set.
Yep. And so for reference, there is the normal E Street Band lineup that they have there. But those people that Klep are mentioning is an entire horn section, like literally like 5 extra horns, all of different varieties, and probably like 5 extra backup singers as well. And they even had like a guy on bongos and different drums, which I had not seen at previous Bruce concerts. And yeah, they just came out swinging. For those as well who don't know, Bruce did put out an album last year, but it was mostly, or it was all just soul Motown covers. So people weren't really sure what they were going to play. And man, did they bring out a variety of different songs. But again, coming out with No Surrender was great. It's not like one of the most popular ones, but the way that starts off really hits and set a tone for the damn night and brought us into Ghosts, which is a song off Bruce's album from COVID, a Letter to You, and that was at number 2.
And I feel like almost, I mean, we'll see as we go through the set list, but I feel like this tour was almost a tour for that album rather than Only the Strong Survive, simply because they didn't get to tour that 2020 album, A Letter to You. And yeah, like you said, Only the Strong Survive is all covers. It's not Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. It's just a Bruce Springsteen album. Whereas, was A Letter to You, is that Bruce solo too, or is that with the E Street Band?
That's with the full band.
Yeah, so there's that component of it too. You know, A Letter to You is the most recent E Street Band album. So I think both of those factors led to more of those songs being featured.
Absolutely. No, they did a great job. I thought Ghosts was the best song off that album. And they did a great job with that. It was kind of funny. When I was just sitting there during the first 2 songs, you're just like, all right, Bruce is 70. Like, it kind of sounded like whether like he was having like a rough time singing, I guess No Surrender and even parts of Ghost. And it wasn't anything like too crazy, but like my dad mentioned it to me after, which I was like, okay, maybe I was hearing the same thing. Something happened as they went into the 3rd song, Prove It All Night, where Bruce just fucking turned it the fuck up, and holy shit, for the rest of the concert did him and everyone else on stage just sound like you're literally in the fucking mid 70s just seeing Bruce go wild. And so sorry. I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I also just wanted to say something else that was pretty prominent and stood out early on for me, especially during Prove It All Night, was the feature of Bruce on guitar, something he does not do often. He's got 2 other guitarists, Steve Van Zandt and Niles Logren, and Bruce was ripping fucking solos as a guitarist. I'm like, holy shit, I wish I could do that. And people dog his shit on guitar, and he came out swinging, dude.
Yeah, no, he ripped off quite a few impressive solos. That was honestly one thing I was going to say too. Yeah, Prove It All Night was rowdy.
A little darkness. And then we continue number 4 into a new song. Again, the title track, Letter to You, which is just a great song in general. It's about Bruce's first band, the Castiles. I think there's 4 or 5 of them in like grade school or high school, but Bruce is the last man alive out of that band. And that was the concept of the album, A Letter to You, writing in memory, being the last man standing. And there's a really cool documentary. I don't, might have been on Apple, might have been on HBO. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube nowadays, but just A Letter to You. It walks through every single song and them creating it in studio and Bruce kind of giving a little detail, but then you actually see the whole band perform it like in the studio they recorded it. And it was a really cool, like hour and a half doc.
Yeah. And I mean, he talked to the crowd too, kind of explaining what you just said, which was I thought pretty cool. I mean, we kind of knew it because we did the homework ahead of time, but if you were just there just to, not trying to overthink it and enjoy the show, like, then that would have been like, a nice touch. And I don't know, the way like you'd hear the emotion in Bruce's voice and you could tell how much the song meant to him.
Definitely. It was nice coming out to just kind of some new songs. And then they went in number 5 to an all-time live song, The Promised Land, off of Darkness.
Yeah, we got a lot of darkness.
And we love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, The Promised Land is just an all-time Bruce song. Love when they play this one live with the harmonica. But after that, Promised Land is when we enter my favorite part of the set, these next 3 songs. So at number 6 is Out in the Street, which is a song, I don't know, Klep, it's off the river. Did you know that song that well?
I did not know it super well because I haven't, man, I need to. But The River is like probably the best Bruce album that I haven't actually listened to, like start to finish. I know like a good handful of songs off of it. This one was not one. So I mean, it was super cool to hear because now I do know it and like recognize it's a great song. But I didn't know recognize it right away when he played it live.
I'll say the studio version is kind of much more milder than what they do live. There's a version on YouTube. I think it's 2012 at Hyde Park in London.
Okay.
If you go look it up, I think, or maybe it was like 2010 or 11, but nonetheless, I think Clarence was still alive during this one as well. And like the way, like at the end of the song when they're like, well, I'm out on the street, Susie. And like, they just keep going like down the line of like all the people. They're like, I'm out on the street, baby. Like, it's such a good performance. And the way that you can translate studio music into live and make it stick in a way that's different than the studio is like such a huge part of music. But yeah, so we go from Out in the Street into Candy's Room, which is a snare ride.
Yeah, another Darkness song. Like they just keep coming.
Yeah, it's a really unique song altogether with how it's set up and the way it's built up. Max Weinberg's hands must have been quite sore after that one.
Yeah.
At least it's only like a 2.5, 3-minute song.
Mm-hmm. I was definitely worried for him. I was like, man, that is going to build up some fatigue.
He's only been doing it for 50-something years.
True.
But then at number 8, the song of the night for Spruce.
I'll second it.
Kitty's Back. About a 10 to 15-minute version of Kitty's Back.
And this is when the big band came out to play.
Literally standing up front, everyone taking turns. I mean, if you know Kitty's Back, the song, I mean, it's an absolute roller coaster of a tune where it just doesn't make sense at points. There's a part in the middle with the horns I always reference. It makes me feel like I'm just in the tornado in the Wizard of Oz, where it's like down, down, and then it just goes out into like you're in a fucking jazz club. And they did that part, like the part leading up to like the chaos. They took 5 minutes of just every horn taking a turn and laying it out.
Yep. And I guess the other component of it, that was the first song off of The Wild, The Innocent, and the E Street Shuffle that we got.
It was. People were looking at us like we were freaks at the show. There was like some girl next to Bogart and I that just kept being like, I can't. I love you. You know every song. And I'm like, honey, turn that way. It's Bruce. Like, quit talking to me. I understand. I know the lyrics. It's been ingrained in my fucking skull. All right, so number 9, we actually get one off of the new song, or sorry, Only the Strong Survive, the new album that came out
Yep.
last year. Again, those soul covers. This one was Night Shift by the Commodores.
Yep, amazing tune. And yeah, I mean, usually Bruce has been playing one song off of Only the Strong Survive, and this has been the frequent choice. But yeah, I mean it's a great song. So hard to be upset with it.
This was the one when I was laying in bed that night. I just couldn't. I was just like, at the night shift, like like it's a complete just boogie.
Mm-hmm. And then the next song is where the real surprises start to kick in. So I had done a little bit of set list research before the show. Spruce deliberately said he did not want to. He just kind of wanted to experience it without having to think about the set list and what songs were being played too much, which totally fair. So I like to do that a lot too. But since it was my first Bruce show, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do a little research. And the song that was played next, I hadn't seen on any set list this tour. And sure enough, it was the tour debut of this song. We got it in the Motown, Darkness on the Edge of Town.
That title track, and Klep, you mentioned it before I think we started recording, or right when we started, but yeah, that intro does sound like a bunch of different Bruce songs, and you aren't like right away, like sounds like Backstreets almost. And the fact that it was Darkness, oh, it just hit. And that song is, again, Bruce puts together these songs that just like are not traditional in a way that they're set up. Like I try to describe like certain parts, and I'm like, you remember the part where it's like da 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 da, and I wish I could convey it right now, but yep, go listen to our album review on Darkness on the Edge of Town. It seriously was very, very fun to dive into.
And yeah, and so at this point too, we're 10 songs deep into the set list. 4 of them are off of Darkness on the Edge of Town.
But we're gonna head right on back to early Bruce off of his second album, The Young, the Wild, and the Innocent, or in the Innocent, and we will be going to the E Street Shuffle.
I'll never forget. So when they started playing this, so yeah, at the show, Spruce is to my left, and then Spruce's pops was to my right. And he turns to me when they start playing this, and he's like, "This song right here is worth the price of admission." I'm like, damn right.
That's fucking awesome. This was, dude, it's crazy how much I didn't really know this song or this like album until like mid last year. Like I was very much like mid Bruce, like 80s, and like I listened to some like 70s, obviously, like Born to Run and stuff. But the first 2 albums I was kind of blind to in a sense. And
you were blinded by the light.
Yeah, I was blinded by the light. On another cover, I honestly probably should have put in our top 10 covers. I'm an idiot.
That so I thought about it, but yeah, I like the Bruce version way more, so couldn't do it.
I honestly may have said Manfred Man would have been better than Bruce, because but that's for no, it's crazy. It's crazy. But that song, the fact that they throw chopsticks in that, I don't know. Nonetheless, go listen to our top 10 cover that might have come out before this. Not sure yet.
Well, now it is.
Well, here we go then. We're going to continue down to number 12, Johnny 99, which this is a song off Nebraska that is a very, very slow acoustic harmonica song that gets turned into absolutely party rock and roll sometimes when done live, and we got blessed with that exact version.
We sure did. And was this the only song off of Nebraska that was played? I'm just scanning.
It might, yeah, I think so.
Yep, sure looks like it.
Yep, go check that out. That might be another one at Hyde Park in London that they do the version that I'm speaking of, and holy shit, it was so fucking good. I'm very, very, very glad we got that one. That was in my top 3 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, That one was super high energy, just like very fun. And yeah, I mean, I only knew the Nebraska version, which is acousticy, still very good, but seeing this rendition of it was a party.
And then straight from a party, we went to the end of the night slowdown with Last Man Standing at number 13, just acoustic with Barry Danielian on trumpet.
Yep, and that another song off that 2020 album, Letter to You, which yeah, Last Man Standing. Bruce is the last man standing. So this actually might have been earlier. I said that he talked to the crowd during Letter to You. It might have actually been this song where he talked to the crowd.
Mm-hmm. I think so. But from there, we picked it right back up with one off Born to Run, one of my favorites, Backstreets.
Yeah. This is at this point, I think Backstreets was the first Born to Run song played, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
It was, and they, yeah, this is another one just very piano driven, can easily be picked up with Darkness, but they both have their own ways of just moving through each song, and very, 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 oh,
The
I
way
love this
Bruce
song.
sings it is just
On the
electric.
backstreets until the
Yeah, on the back street.
dude, that part of him where he's like hiding on the back streets, and we're hiding on the back streets.
Yeah.
Well, all right, and we're going on the back streets tonight.
Yeah, that might honestly be my favorite song off of Born to Run.
Oh, hot take. I love it, dude. I would love.
Either that or another one that we heard later.
Well, we continue with an actual cover, but one that Bruce has done for many, many years.
Well, he's a co-writer, wasn't he?
Well, Patti Smith is his wife, so it's sitting at number 15. It's Because of the Night, and Patti Smith group originally wrote it. That's Bruce's wife, and yep,
Yeah,
I believe
mean,
it's his wife. Let me see.
I had no idea.
Yeah, Mary.
But
yep.
But yeah, no, that yeah, okay. Yep, it says right here. Because the Night, co-written with Bruce Springsteen, reached number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100. But yeah, like the Patty version is the version everyone knows. Like, you know, she made this song quite famous. Yeah, this song was extremely electric live. Like
Niles tees
horns.
off on guitar on this one constantly. I love it.
Yes.
And Klep, I remember you when Niles, he always puts like like feather or something at the end of his guitar, and you're like, dude, he lost his strap. That was great. But we continue straight into another Born to Run, and She's the One.
Another excellent song.
Yeah, excellent song. Kind of a hidden track. Or just, I mean, it's a popular one amongst Bruce fans. But again, Bruce is playing just an array of his entire discography, and continuing as we go to number 17, Wrecking Ball, which was, I believe from 2012 was when that album was released. Like that's when I'm in high school, just loving life and listening to Bruce. And then from there, he goes into The Rising, which was off a 2001 album, The Rising. And again, the fact that he can go from 70s to 2012 to 2001, and fuck it. And then to end the main set, he played Badlands, which was, another one off of
Darkness. Yeah, so we main set list 19 songs, and we got half of Darkness on the Edge of Town. What more could you really ask for?
It is. The Rising drill during that, and Wrecking Ball, dude. Like those are just incredible songs, and like people know all of old Bruce. They're like Born in the USA. I'm like, bro,
come on up, do the Rising.
Go Rising, go Wrecking Ball. Like, yeah, oh, it's so good. But we knew Bruce was coming out with some hitters during the encore. He always does. Something that is up for debate. Bogart was like, I don't like this. And I can also understand, but at least for the last 2 or 3 times I've seen Bruce, he's very much into turning on the lights during the encore. It's a thing he does. It wasn't just during our exact set. So the lights did come on for the entire encore.
Yeah, I did notice that, but it did not bother me at all.
Yeah, I was interested. I remember I was kind of like, why is he doing this when I saw him like 8 years ago? But I mean, yeah, it didn't make for that much, especially when you're not that close and the light show's not a huge factor. It doesn't matter. But started off with one of all timers, Thunder Road.
Yeah. Yep. Like you said, bringing out the heavy hitters.
Literally top 3 Bruce song for me. And right into Born to Run, another one off the Born to Run album. We've gotten more than half that album at this point. Or
yeah,
not yet.
Bruce is on the mound
not
and
yet.
he's just throwing paint.
Actually, we've had exactly half that album. So,
Born to Run.
Well, yeah, we have half, but let's just say we're gonna cross that threshold soon here.
Yep.
All right. So 22. So the third song in the encore, top 3 Bruce song as well. Rosalita, Come Out Tonight.
Destroy Me.
Yep. Destroy. We got. And
I guess one thing I just want to add about Rosalita that was like really funny. So like you know that part where it builds right before it goes like, do you remember when Bruce was like making monkey ears and like a bunch of the guys were like up there just
dude,
like...
I have a video of that. I have to include that in a reel or whatever we post with it, because I got a video of that when they were like grabbing his nose and be like rah, 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 rah.
Yep, that was absolutely nuts. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Yeah, dude. Oh, they do a good. I mean, they've just been doing those songs for 50, 60 years. It's incredible. Like, they can still just have as much fun with it. And like something we didn't mention, but with Kitty's Bag, something they did when they would tour back in the 70s on that was shine a spotlight in the back of the arena. And they did it during this show where they were like, who's that coming back in town? Here she comes, here she comes. And they were just like, who's that? Can you see? Can you see? And then they just bust into Kitty's back in town. Whoa. Yeah,
that's right. They did.
Dude, the antics are just so good, man. It's a huge part of the show, and you love to see them still having fun with it and still enjoying playing these next 2 songs that I forget are part of even Bruce's life. And then you go and listen to Glory Days at 23, then number 24, Dancing in the Dark. Just songs that are ingrained into just our skulls. And sometimes you're like, I've heard that song so much, it's not one of my favorites. And then you go back and you're just like, this gun's for hire.
Even if we're just dancing in the dark.
Yeah, dude. Like those tunes. Like, how do you create such beautiful, beautiful tunes like that? It's well done. But number 25. This is when we'll cross the threshold into majority 5 songs off of Born to Run. We get that 10th Avenue Freeze Out where they show pictures of Dan Federici and Clarence Clemens, who are 2 original members that have passed away from the East Street Band. And then that's when they introduced the East Street Band during Dancing in the Dark. But man, I love when Bruce goes, you can now go home and tell your friends you've experienced the heart stopping, pants dropping, booty shaking, Viagra taking, earthquaking, E Street Band. Like, that's a signature that they do. But as they've gotten older, they threw in that Viagra taken.
That's hilarious. Yeah, 10th Avenue Freeze Out. This was just like all control was lost, and Bruce just like started walking around like this riser that like separated like the from the seats kind of, and he was just like strolling through like smacking hands and everything and just singing this amazing song.
It is. And yeah, they went out, the whole band went away, took their bows, and I thought it was over. But you pointed out, thank God you looked at the set list. You were like, Bruce always comes out for one more acoustic song. And he came out and did I'll See You in My Dreams.
Yep, another one off that 2020 album, Letter to You. And definitely considering that they ended the whole show with that song, I feel like my original statement that this is more of a tour for that album, I feel like is well supported.
I agree. And what an experience. My dad said it was easily a top 10. And again, my dad's seen him 40 plus times. But he said it was a top 10 concert for him, for Bruce. Like the electricity was nuts. And like, honestly, the reviews from not just, I mean, the critics are saying this tour has been fantastic, but I mean, he's already come to Cleveland. And again, we're going to see him in Columbus, but everyone in Cleveland, the Cleveland scene have just only had great things to say. And like I said, the first song in, I was like, oh man, is Bruce getting that like old syndrome? Like, I mean, we're all getting old, so I don't know why I said syndrome, but is Bruce getting old? Well, he is, but he still has it. And so does all the musicians that are playing with him. Seriously, that was an unbelievable experience, and I cannot wait to do it again in a couple months.
Yeah, absolutely incredible show. And at the end of the year, I'm sure we'll probably do our, top concerts of the year. And if we were to do it today, it would definitely be in mind. But yeah, that was just bonkers.
It was. Yeah, shout out. Yep, that was great. Again, hit up Klep for the parking. We got in and out of there in 5 minutes, headed back to Cleveland, got some good night's sleep, and just prepared for more concerts that are on the way because we have a lot coming up this summer.
Indeed, yeah, particularly towards the end of, actually beginning and
June,
end of June
all of
for
June.
me.
Yeah, you are a June freak, dude. 4 days in a row, 4 concerts. That's a crazy concept.
Yep.
All crazy cities, but
and like completely different genres too. That's gonna be nuts.
And we'll stay at it. We'll continue to post about it. Keep following us. We love y'all. And shout out to Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. My name is Spruce.
I'm Klep.
And this has been another episode of Vinyl Stallion.